Welcome. In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy Tab S80, and today I'll show you a couple tweaks, tricks, settings on this tablet that it can change around to fit your, usage style. So anyway, I'm gonna get started with the little side panel, which has been introduced, I think, in like the beginning where Samsung released curved displays, and now it just kind of sticks to every Samsung device. So it changed a little bit over time, as you can see. Before we actually had a couple pages of it, and now they just by default opt into a single page, as you can see. So there we go. Now once you actually first pull it out, you can see there is a little settings icon, and when you click on it, it takes you to the options that it can enable right here. So we have a couple different things that we can use. You can have tasks, weather as an example, and from here you can now swipe between them. So there we go. Now additionally, with tasks, you can see that we have a couple of things that we can launch at the same time. So as an example, we have alarm and NS stopwatch, I guess. What else is there? You can edit it as an example here. So let's see how we actually do this. I never have done this, so I'll be looking for something that apparently doesn't exist. It would be really nice to have, for instance, something like YouTube and browser, but apparently that doesn't exist here. So a little bit of a shame. So yeah, now there was also a way to download more of these, like different kinds of panels. Though on the Galaxy Store they are paid, so or at least the good ones are. So keep that in mind. Now moving on. The next option is just a simple dark mode. Obviously it just changes how the device looks like. So instead of having like white background, you get a black one, and that's about as complex as it gets. Additionally, you can go into the settings of it and toggle it on so it changes based on the time. So during the day you will have a dark or light mode, and during the nighttime you'll have dark mode. So that's a nice little option. Now as you can see, the little toggle is located in your toggles tray right here, so you can tap on it to enable it when you want to. This will just hard toggle it, and if you want to do the schedule route, you can hold it and then just select this right here, and that's about all you need to do. Additionally, turn it off for that, and now it's gonna be switching once it gets sound down. It will switch to dark mode with this. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is the high refresh rate. Now by default the device actually comes with it enabled, so that's nice, though there is a little bit of a mishap in my opinion with the high refresh rate mode that is located on the display, having only a option to be on all the time or at 60 Hz all the time. So there's no smart mode to it where it drops refresh rate down based on what you're doing. So as you can see, we have here it's called adaptive, so that's nice. Get smooth animation and scrolling by automatically adjusting your screen refresh rate. So never mind, this actually does do it correctly here. On the Ultra, I've seen only high or standard, which is basically having it on or not. And now in here, this is actually going to be a really good option for a lot of the people, because you get to utilize 120 Hz, and you get this smooth little animation scrolling, and just the device looks much smoother and snappier. But when you're not doing anything like right now, the device just basically throttles down to 60 Hz to preserve battery, so that's really nice. But for everybody else that wants to prioritize preserving battery, you can switch to standard, select apply, and now it's going to be at 60 all the time. But like I'm saying, this is for people that want to just prioritize battery life over the smoothness. Anyway, now moving on to the next thing that I'm going to go into. Again, it's going to be under the display section, so this is going to be the screen mode, and you can see it right here. We have, as every Samsung does, set to vivid. And to be fair, on this LCD, because that's basically what we're using right here instead of like an AMOLED display, it is not as atrocious as it is on AMOLED displays from Samsung. It's still overdone, but not to the point. So I basically prefer to change it to natural, almost exclusively on every Samsung device, just because their colors are so saturated that they look a little bit too overdone. And natural seems to tone it down a little bit to a more reasonable state. Obviously, in certain cases, it won't look as good. As an example right here, our Aurora looks a little bit more dim and bleak compared to the vivid mode. So you can see, if it actually would switch, you can see the natural looks a little bit more toned down and desaturated. But obviously, in my opinion, when it has scenes like this, natural just has much more appeal to me, at least. And I'm willing to have a little bit less colorful things like Aurora Borealis, as long as other colors aren't assaulting me, basically. So there we go. Now, another thing that I like to change, which doesn't come with the device by default, for some odd reason, is the gesture navigation. So as you can see, we have the buttons at the bottom. I would really like to see settings for this and throughout the setup to allow me to do this, but okay. So if you want to use gestures, which I highly recommend, they're just a little bit better in my opinion, just because before I actually change them, let's go here. As you can see right now, icons are located a little bit higher to accommodate for the buttons at the bottom, so you're losing a little bit of screen real estate. Now it's not much, but still it's there, and for a small device you might want to enable this, just because navigating is a little bit more pleasant, at least in my opinion, and you also get a little bit more screen. So to do so, you're gonna navigate into display. From there, scroll down to navigation bar, swipe gestures, and boop, there we go, it's now gone. So to use them, if you never done so, all you need to do is swipe up to go home, or swipe up and hold like I did to go to recent, and then let's go back to recent. So when you swipe up from a side, you can see there's an arrow appearing, and you can do that from either side. Now, when using gestures, I recommend, to get them correctly, I recommend swiping from the bezel. As you can see, my pen tip is at the bezel, and then go up, which ensures that you will always get them correctly. So yeah, there we go. And moving on to the next option, it's going to be the, assuming it's here, I actually haven't checked. Yep, it is. So we have DeX option. So when you tap on this, select start, it will enable this desktop mode. Now normally on, for instance, things like the smartphones, you can access this by plugging in something along these lines, so USB-C to HDMI. For me, it also has a couple USB ports, so I can utilize those as well. But that will allow you to plug in your phone, as an example, to a monitor. You can do the same thing with this as well. You can just plug that in, connect the external display, and it will work like this, no problem. But tablets have the benefit right here that you can just run this desktop mode at any point without needing to connect an external display, unlike the phone. And just to quickly go into this, as you can see, we have the little bar at the bottom, notifications right here, screenshot, volume controls, our toggles. Then we have running applications right here, along with all the apps, and just a couple normal gestures, not gestures, but just navigations. So it does bring back the buttons in this mode. They have the back, home, and recent, as you can see. Now when it comes down to this kind of thing, it just crashed right there. There we go. So when you open up some kind of app, it opens it up in a window instead, so you can use it basically as you would do on a normal Windows or Mac or computer, basically. So you can see it even has like snap features. And there we go. So you can see it allows split screening right here, and yeah, it works just really well. Once you're done with it, you're gonna leave it. All you need to do is tap right here and simply check it off. Now, going into the last option, this is gonna be the exact opposite, I guess, of this. So instead of having our desktop on our tablet, we're gonna have our desktop from a computer, I guess on a tablet. Now that I said it out loud, it doesn't really seem like much difference. But what I mean by that is, here we just use the desktop mode on a tablet that comes with this device. But what we can also do is utilize your windows and use this as a secondary display. So all you need to do is navigate to your notification panel right here, and on the second page you have second screen option. When you tap on it, it tells you how you can launch this. So on your Windows, you press Windows key plus K, and this brings up on the side panel. You can obviously also access it by tapping on this kind of like message icon in the bottom in your taskbar on the bottom right side, and then navigating to connect. This is basically the same thing. And in there, give it a second and it should show up with your with this tablet. As you can see, it tells you how it's gonna be named, so Galaxy Tab S80 5G. So that's what you're gonna be looking for. Now, unfortunately, I am unable to show you this in action just because the computer that I'm using for this is a little bit too old to actually detect it, I guess. So for me, right now my work computer is like some kind of i5 3rd gen, so quite old, and I assume this is probably why it's not showing up. I did use this kind of feature before on a different device and it works fine, though there is little note here. When using this is going straight like wirelessly. So if you're looking for something that runs basically super smooth, is very responsive, this won't be that, just because it's going over the Wi-Fi. So it will have a little bit of a greater latency than what you might expect from a typical monitor that is just normally plugged in through an HDMI, as an example. But still, as a secondary monitor for just viewing some charts or something like that, it works fine. There's no problem. Obviously it functions, and that's, I would say, all you really need. Assuming you don't want to game on this, then it will do the job. So anyway, this will conclude things that I want to show you here, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.